We can do this.
I know.
We can do this.
Dear God, why did we do this? No, it was great. It was great.
We can do.
Oh man.
Hello, listeners, and thank you for tuning into Those Nerds Over There. This is an enthusiast podcast centered around celebrating and discussing nerd culture. We are your hosts. I'm Alan.
And I'm Sal.
And this is us post level up.
Apocalypse.
My body certainly feels like it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! But no, this is our post Level Up Expo episode. Like, this is late, and it's just like basically right after Level Up Expo. How are you feeling, Sal?
Well, I had a great time, but my body just wants to, just slip into a coma for about a year, so...
That's what it seemed like Kazel and Sir were gonna do.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get that luxury. We've got a lot of content to pump out, which is great and not great at the same time.
Besides this episode, we're also going to be releasing pictures that we took during the convention. That is actually going to be on our new Instagram, at Those Nerdscast on Instagram. Follow us. We became painfully aware during the middle of the expo that we needed an Instagram.
Yes, and we also post a lot of stuff on Twitter as well. So, I mean, if you don't have an Instagram like we didn't, you could find some stuff over there too. You're probably going to hear a lot of shout-outs in this episode, but just bear with us because we have a lot of amazing people to shout out, and they were all great, and we want you to go visit their social media.
The convention was great. We got to meet, so many amazing people, and I just want to say, big thanks to Level Up Expo for letting us come out to the event, because we got press media badges from them. And also, thanks to our friend Suspir for photographing and videotaping the event for us. He did a wonderful job and really got us a lot of the great content we're going to be releasing out. You can find him on Twitch at twitch.tv Suspiria N, the letter N, Friends. And then finally, thanks to our friends Kazel and Sir for giving us safe harbor at their art tables during the days. You can find them on Twitter at Kazelu, Cazeloo, and then at SJ Miller Art. So this was our first convention as a podcast and doing the coverage, and that was tiring. But yeah.
To say the least.
Right. But I mean, we still had a blast. I remember during the second day, I had hit a point where I was about to ask the next attendee I saw to just, kill me. I was suffering so much from my allergies. I would have, was begging for death.
You were literally, the biggest trooper on the second day because you were just dying of allergies. Just, ridiculous. I would have just given up and let death take me.
I was there. Jeez, oh my goodness. I was there, man. But I mean, even despite that, I had a really good time.
Oh yeah, it was such a good time, and this was actually my first convention that was small. Because
Whoa.
My only other convention was Anime Expo, and that was ridiculously big and crowded and so overwhelming, and it was a lot harder to see things and meet people. So this was a really nice change of pace.
It's yeah, okay. I didn't even realize because Was it I have panic attacks when I'm in large crowds of people? I don't know why. It happened to me at Comic-Con. It happened to me at the Louvre.
The what?
You know, the place with the Mona Lisa.
Oh, okay.
You know, during the whole time at Lvl Up Expo, I was really like comfortable, and it didn't even occur to me just like, you know, the size. We say small, it was still pretty big, but like it was a lot more palatable than say something like San Diego Comic Con, which I just like was in the middle of a sea of people and wanted to fall over at one point.
Right. And yeah, it wasn't small, but when all you know is Anime Expo, it was small.
Ah, right, right.
Yeah. So I remember being in the artist alley in Anime Expo, and you're just drowning in people. There's no space. Like, you cannot move your arms.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. So, yep, there's that.
So, some just quick info. Level Up Expo is this nonprofit convention that is based here in Las Vegas, mine and Sal's home. And this was their seventh year, their seventh convention. And in the 18 plus years I've lived here, I think this was the most local thing I've done.
I mean, I can't talk for you, but this is definitely the most local thing I've done.
You know, when we were preparing for the expo, we were like trying to do as much research as we can. And their mission statement I saw is, quote, to house the incredible energy of the community in one annual event. And, you know, after the 3 days have passed, I feel like, you know, I think they made good on that mission statement.
Yeah, I think they succeeded in that part.
Everyone was super nice, first off.
Yeah, I was actually gushing about this the other night. It's crazy how being in the room with people very similar to you is so much different than being just out in public with random strangers, because everyone is, even though they're still a stranger, you have that connection, right? And so you can immediately, you're just like immediately friends as soon as you meet. So it was super nice and a good change of pace, because I work with terrible people.
Oh no, I hope they don't listen to the show. But you know, there were a lot of things to do during the event, and that, like, when I was interviewing attendees, I had that opportunity. Like, a lot of them that had been to previous expos, or previous Level Up expos, just like, it talked about how this one was so much bigger and there were so many more activities to do. So I wanted to, for this episode, we have us go over what our favorite things we did during the Level Up Expo were, starting with our favorite panels.
Yes. However, before that, we should probably answer a nerd question, because we have yet to do that.
Yes, you're right. Good lord. Sorry. Listeners, first-time listeners, welcome. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who don't know, what we do every episode is we have something called the nut jar. I'm eating nuts to get a jar ready, but it is a jar we pull random questions submitted by listeners. And these are like fun questions, nerd-themed questions that we like to discuss and throw out into you guys, the audience, because we want to hear what you guys love. And we got a lot more during Level Up Expo, so I'm going to draw one from those. Or technically, I already drew it, but...
You're ruining the principle.
So this one is a bit of narrow casting, but works for us. Who is your Fire Emblem waifu / husbando? And that one comes from Psycho Akarui. That's their name on Twitter. Sorry, spelled out, her Twitter is SAIKOAKARUI.
But yeah, so this was the first person we went up to when we went to the artist alley, and I mean, she was very sweet, but she totally suckered me into buying She had all this art for Fire Emblem, so that's why she asked this question, and she was like, "Hey, we have your waifu, and you can buy a frame and frame your waifu." And I was just like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, "Yeah, and it's only $20." And so me and waifus sold immediately.
But she was also like, at least for me, I don't feel like I got suckered, but she was like the only person selling Fire Emblem art, I felt like.
Yeah, that is true. Which, I mean, we didn't know at the time, though.
Oh, actually, that's true. We just saw it and we had to snatch it up.
Yeah, we were just like, we need this now, and thank you for your contribution to society.
All right, but Sal, who's your Fire Emblem waifu and or husbando?
All right, so I don't think I have a husbando. Most of the guy characters I actually don't find very great, so that leaves the entire cast of female characters because most of them are great. But the waifu I bought from her actually is my favorite, so that would be Felicia, the pink-haired maid, and
who funnily enough, in anime terms would make, I think, a really bad wife.
Yes, I suppose.
I mean, her lore, she can't cook and she drops everything all the time, and the only thing she's good at is killing people.
I mean, I guess. I don't know what. She's perfect. Shut up. But the reason I like her is for one, she's in Fire Emblem Fates, right? Which
yeah.
I think most people can agree is not the best Fire Emblem game. If you think it's the best Fire Emblem game, then kudos to you that you enjoyed the game. But I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but I enjoyed the heck out of the whole like wife simulator, even though that makes me like one of those trash people that like it for that. And Felicia like stood out immediately, mostly because of the pink hair, but she was this very loyal character because she follows you no matter like which family you choose. And she is, she can't cook. She's very clumsy, but she is like so much of a, I want to say like a go-getter. Like she never gives up and she's always trying. And she is ridiculously happy, even though she shouldn't be a lot of the time because she's not good at anything, which would make a normal person not
people.
Besides killing people. I mean, I just love her for that, and she is the mage killer in that game, so that made her very important to me as a playable character as well. But I mean, I just love everything about her. She was great. She was like the definite standout, and I married her like right away. I didn't even give anybody else a chance.
Damn.
So, yeah. What about you, Alan?
Well, I was gonna say I had completely forgotten about like Felicia's whole character arc about like, or her trait that she never gives up and is always trying to improve. And I was saying, that's commendable.
Thank you.
My Fire Emblem waifu, I'm basic, but I love her, is Lynn.
The legs for days.
I mean, yes, but technically I fell in love with her before you could even see her legs. Because the first Fire Emblem I played was 7 on the Game Boy Advance, and all the sprites were torso up.
Yep. Classic GBA.
Yeah, but I mean, this is Okay, bear with me. Like, a lot of this is processed through like 10-year-old Alan, and the reason like I really love Lynn as a character, despite all these like uh analyses, like, oh, Lynn's not so great. Also, I'm like, how dare you?
You gotta protect your waifus.
During the first chapter where she finds you, she like takes care of you, and then she like helps protect you, and then you see, Fire Emblem does that thing where on the first boss you get to see your protagonist's critical animation, and young Alan, when they saw her do her like that ninja thing where you go super fast and you cut someone up multiple times.
Yes.
I'm just like, I was just freaking out with how like cool that was. And then that really dictated like how I went throughout the rest of the game. Cuz Lynn was always on my team at like after that.
Ah.
And then we got so desperate for more Fire Emblem content after Fates that we got hooked on a phone game. And I'm I think they were playing a bit of favorites, but Lynn's really good in that game.
Lynn is all versions of Lynn is really good in that game.
Yeah, so I that certainly helped as I'm playing this game, like help build my love for her. For my Fire Emblem husbando, I didn't have one until the phone game actually, and it does kind of have to build on good units from the game.
Okay.
And that's Hector.
Of course.
Yeah, you and your cousin both hate. I don't know, Hector's so bust in that game, and maybe that's not like a good reason to have waifus in husbando, but I don't know. Do I need more reason than that?
I mean,
other than just liking them?
Why have a 2D favorite character if you can't use them? So I'll approve. I approve.
Thanks, Sal. I have Sal's approval.
Which isn't saying much, but
Yeah, but those are mine.
All right. So who is your favorite waifu or husbando from Fire Emblem? Have you played Fire Emblem? Why haven't you played Fire Emblem? Let us know.
Go play Fire Emblem.
Go play Fire Emblem. Any of them. Maybe not Fates. I'm kidding. Play it. It's not that bad. But yeah, let us know on our Twitter at Those Nerds Cast, or on our Instagram, or wherever you see us. Just scream it in our faces.
I just remembered, this was kind of weird, or not really that surprising, but the Fire Emblem, there are more people that play Fire Emblem Heroes on the phone than there are people that have played Fire Emblem.
Yes. I mean, it's just that good of a game.
I don't know about that.
It's literally the only phone game I've ever played and stuck with. Every other phone game I've downloaded, had for a couple days, and then got rid of. So,
right, well, people, send Sal your phone games. I'm gonna recommend Dragalia Lost.
I mean, I downloaded it and then deleted it without even playing it.
What the hell?
Yeah, well,
Okay. Well, I don't know, but you know what I want to know?
Please.
What was your favorite panel at Lvl Up Expo, Sal?
All right, so this is actually kind of hard because there were actually really good panels, and the panels were actually...
Well, don't seem so surprised.
Right? Okay, let me reword that. There were really good small panels because I feel like... Because most of these, except the ones with the cast of Ruby, there weren't any, stars or anything that I knew of. And so, I mean, they might be really, really popular, but I didn't know any of these people. So I wasn't expecting a lot out of them. I just was like, oh, this looks interesting. I'm going to go to that. But they were actually really good. So, But I think my favorite was probably the fashion show.
Oh my god, I forgot about the fashion show when I was writing my favorites. Fuck.
Yeah, so I went to a couple panels. I went to meeting the cast of RWBY, which, by the way, they're all fantastic individuals. I didn't get to meet them, but I loved the panel. I went to a couple comic panels on how to write comics and, find a publisher. It was a lot of useful information. Then we went to like a Twitch, no, not a Twitch, a live podcast. And we went to a comedy show. So, and then that Jeopardy thing, which was...
We're not going to talk about that.
it was okay. So we actually went to a decent amount, but the fashion show, I was just like, okay, let's go do that. And I had no expectations and didn't even know what it was going to be about. I thought it was actually going to be like cosplays. So...
Yeah, I thought it was going to be just like maybe, and that's maybe just like from what I've seen of. No, I was going to say like just more traditional fashion shows that are a little crazy. I was expecting this one to also just have like stuff you would not wear into public.
Yeah, I mean, some of them you probably shouldn't wear in public, but that's beside the point. But yeah, it was great. There was a lot of talent, and we spoke to the person who was running it, whose name Alan will tell you.
So her name was Brittany, and she was actually one of the designers for one of the 4 clothing brands that were up there.
Yes.
Hers was Revved Up Geek Design, and you can also find her on social media from Waffles Modern Life. For all you, I guess, old Rocco fans. But I do want to underscore, this was the first time Lvl Up Expo had done a fashion show, and Brittany and Lvl Up, like, they worked to set it up. They did tell us it was, like, last minute, but, like, it certainly didn't show. I thought the show was, like, really well put together. It was actually really fun to watch, especially for someone like me who does not do fashion. Like,
yes, that makes 2 of us.
I wear Walmart couture.
Yeah, like, we rather spend our money on art and video games than clothing, so...
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, everything was so, like, it was so fantastic. There was the people with the line with the jackets. Do you remember who they were?
Yes, I do, because they were my favorite. That was Shook Boys.
Okay.
Spelled with a Z for boys. There was that one jacket that was just like all of the sparkles. And I'm like, damn, if I bought clothing. Like, that's like a jacket I wish I could own. And like, hopefully I could rock that look.
Yeah, they just had these amazing jackets. And some of the people kind of looked like sci-fi-y, and I thought that was really cool, and I was like, I would wear this in public. So
one of the brands, I was a little shocked to hear, they were called Label Official, but I think Brittany had announced like the creator is like in Paris right now, like studying. Yeah, I'm just like, whoa, this is like, not to make the others sound not legit, but when I heard that, I'm like, damn, this is like really legit then.
Yeah, and legit. And I was like, well, what are you doing here when you could be doing... Thank you for gracing us with your beautiful work, but you know what I mean?
Like, all of us are down here. The final brand, but which was actually the first one we saw, was from Rena Callie, and hers was based on like Lolita fashion, which I thought meant like creepy doll outfits.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too, because I've heard that like passed around a couple times, that term, but
yeah,
apparently I have no idea what it means, because the the fashion was way different. I mean, it did kind of seem like dolled up. There was a lot of dresses, a lot of really nice dresses.
Right. I could only see like dolls wearing the clothing, but it wasn't. I mean, it was actually fun and cute.
Yeah. I mean, the one that actually that I was like, you probably shouldn't wear that in public was during that line. I think it was the last model of that went up. She was wearing like pixie wings, and I was I was like, I love that outfit, but that's like a cosplay. I wouldn't go out and wear that.
Oh, I should say, because we're talking about like a visual component. We have video of the fashion show that we promise we're gonna show you,
and pictures and other things, because our words don't do justice because we don't know fashion.
Also, that the fashion was great, but there was another aspect that, like, the fashion show that I really enjoyed. I'm used to the fashion shows they show at the fashion show mall, and those are kind of drab and boring because none of the models really seem into it. But as I was like on the side filming with our friend Suspiria, like, and the models came, walking towards us and whatever, they really seemed like they were having fun. They were enjoying being a part of the show.
Oh my god, yeah. They look like they were having the best time. And even afterwards, when they were out in like the lobby, they were kind of like all goofing around. And I did want to say hi to a couple of them, but I'm like, oh no, it's a room full of beautiful girls. I can't.
Oh, good lord, Sal, come on.
You know me. I'm 90% I, so,
No, oh my. Quick tangent just about like us trying to cover the event and the amount of social energy we expended.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was more exhausting than just like standing around.
Oh, definitely.
Or walking.
Like, our introvertedness definitely got the best of us, and is something we need to work on.
Did you have anything else you want to say about the fashion show?
It was great. What was her name again?
Brittany.
Just Brittany?
She did not give me a last name, which I can understand.
Okay. So Brittany was super great. We met her, and she was like the friendliest person. And when we were like, "Can we get a picture?" and she did this like pose, I was like, "Oh, okay." She was super cool. So yeah,
it's like, Brittany, if you end up hearing this somehow, like, we had a fun time. We think you did an amazing job with the show, and we definitely want to see another, right?
Yes, I salute you, and I don't know if she's a nerd. I can only assume she is. If you ever want to be on the show, please.
Please, like, educate us on fashion first and foremost.
Yes, please.
Just one more time, I'm going to read, like, the 4 brands that were at the show that I think our wonderful listeners would really appreciate. That's Revved Up Geek Design, Shook Boys, with a Z for boys, Label Official, and Rena Cali, RENACALI.
All right, Alan. So, what panel did you enjoy the most?
So, of the 2 that I remembered, because, God, I enjoyed the fashion show, but somehow dumb me forgot about it somehow. My favorite panels, my first one was the Pokeball making contest.
Yeah, the one I was like, I don't want to go to that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I understand your involvement with Pokemon versus, like, mine. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to make this not sound snooty.
Kind of does, so you did a bad job
I'm
there,
sorry.
but...
I'm sorry.
No, you're completely fine. So I really wanted to go to the Ruby panel, and you're like, I want to do Pokeballs. So that's the only reason why I didn't do that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, once you actually came back and showed me your Pokeball, I was like, oh, that's so cool, and it actually made me want to go. So.
Oh, thank you. The Pokeball I'd made, first of all, I did. It was LSP, Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time, but I guess I was so nervous I didn't even enter it into the contest.
Oh,
But I appreciate that, so thank you. But
you're welcome.
the Pokemon making contest, it was hosted by the Las Vegas Gamers, and that's with GAY. And well, I wanted to do a little highlight of them first because like they're a group of LGBTQ plus nerds that are based here in Las Vegas. And I mean, they were really cool hosting the event, first of all. And they had, I believe he's local, but local drag queen Anyanka Vergon, who was dressed as Nurse Joy for the Pokemon making contest. And I'll say, like, I used to be really snooty when it came to cosplay. Like, I would look at a costume and be like, not close enough. I've since calmed down after trying to attempt it myself. Yes, it's hard. I get it. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
But I mean, Anyanka's Nurse Joy like was super on point. I've got some pictures I'm gonna post on our Instagram later, so you can see just how great it was.
Nice.
Yep. But back to the Las Vegas Gamers. You know, group of LGBTQ plus nerds here in Las Vegas. They was it? I'm sorry to bring up D&D again, but they host D&D nights monthly at Meepleville, our local board game cafe. But yeah, I had a lot of fun at the Pokeball making contest, despite feeling very intimidated by all these really good artists, which I guess I shouldn't be shocked because there are people in there with amazing cosplay, so of course they're great at art.
Oh, I didn't even think about that you might be going up against artists.
Yeah, there was this girl across from me that redid a whole sunflower painting on her Pokeball, and I'm over here just covering my Pokeball in purple. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Aw.
No, I mean,
I 100% get that, though.
all right, I mean, there were some really good Pokeballs. One of the we had two categories. It was like mimic, how well could you recreate something from the Pokemon universe, and also originals, how well could you make your own original thing. Someone I could only assume is a robot because they perfectly made a Master Ball.
Nice.
And there were a lot of people that did really cute. They put Pokemon on them. Like someone made a Jigglypuff out of the ball and a Voltorb that were really cute. Yeah, so I mean that was just fun to be around other Pokemon lovers. Feeling intimidated a little, but I did feel really reassured at one point when Anyanka came over and, she said she really liked my LSP Pokeball.
Nice.
So thank you very much for that.
You validated me.
The other panel that I enjoyed was the comedy show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Despite that being during day 2 when I was in the room and dying. My friends in Seattle really got me into attending comedy shows, actually. So thank you, Forrest, Madison, and Vicky. So it was nice, especially to see, local talent, first of all. And so many just, overlapping person or, groups was, in this comedy. For me, anyway, we had, it's gonna sound bad, but ethnic comedy, nerd comedy, Las Vegas comedy.
When it comes to comedy, kind of everything is on the table or tossed out the window. I don't know the phrase.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, I had a really great time there, and it was hosted by, I got to meet them after, but James Alexander and Frankie Martinez from the Dorkside News Network, another podcast, local. You can find them on you can find them. Okay, wait, there's even a cooler part. But you can find them on dorksidecookies.net and on social media at dorksidecookies. But when I was talking to them, I was with Sus and they were talking about spicy food. And it really dawned on me at this point how local this thing was. Because I could talk about curry zen and these people knew what I was talking about. And I'm just like, oh my god, fuck yeah, thank you.
They're like, oh, you mean the best restaurant in town?
Yeah, and then our conversation on spiciness about the restaurant, they know about the scale there. Oh, you go in, you order 10, and they're like, wait, hold up. Like the 10 there is crazy, and they know about it.
Nice.
Oh, that just felt nice, especially after like 5 years of me telling people in Washington about this amazing curry restaurant and them just being like, huh?
Yeah, that's super cool. I actually, when looking up a lot of artist names on like Twitter and Instagram, I seen that they were going to like Gabby's, which is this cafe in Chinatown, and like the Sugar Factory, which is in the Fashion Show Mall. And I was like, oh yes, all these places are amazing.
Oh my goodness. Damn, we could have. I'm wondering now, should we have like tweeted out, hey, we're going to be here?
I mean, I don't know who knew us, but
Also true.
but yeah, it is a nice. It's nice to have people either here or just to come to Las Vegas and experience, these things that we get all the time and have that similarity to be able to share with them. So,
What was it? Thank you, James, for knowing what curry is.
knowing what good curry is.
Okay, there we go. And we have footage of the comedy show too, because like retelling jokes is not very funny.
No, it is not. So we'll leave that to the professionals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, all the panels were pretty great, and I would actually like to shout out some people, since they weren't our favorite panels, but they were still great. So we actually went to a live podcast, and the guys there were pretty cool. They had a lot of guests, so I'm gonna name the guest because he's the only one I remember and talk to. But his name was Tony Monroy, and he's a Twitch streamer, and his Twitch is Dark Tales with 2 Z's, and he actually stopped us on our way into the exhibit hall and was like, "Hey, thanks for going to the panel," and he was like, "Oh man, you have a podcast and stuff," and he was just super cool and nice, and it was nice that he recognized that we were there and actually stopped to say thank you and stuff. So he was really cool.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, and he was saying like it was his first time on the podcast too, and I thought he did a good job for being his first time. So
while we're talking about that live recording, I think two like cool shout outs. They had live music during that live recording from
yes.
Yeah, there were 2 local metal video game cover bands. Sal, you like metal music? I do not, but while I was there, I'm just like, holy shit, this is pretty epic.
Yeah, it was great. Mixing metal with what was essentially like 8-bit music. It definitely was a spectacle. So that was super cool.
Yeah, we think you guys should check them out. They're at Vetivs, Vetivs, and the other one is called Serious Impact. I thought it was like or not crazy, but like Serious Impact. They had the custom guitar necks that were levels from their favorite video games. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, that was super cool. Them, I was actually more impressed with them because they pulled out Super Mario, and they were doing like, I think it was a medley of Super Mario songs, and it just blew my mind like what they were doing. And I was watching the dude play. I'm pretty sure he was playing the bass, and just his like finger work, I was like, oh, that looks so difficult. And you're but yeah, they were great.
God, I hope we have footage of that.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
And then for the comic panels, there was 2 comic panels, and they were on both of them. They are I think it's the Ewan twins. They work for One First Comics, and they write comics themselves, and they were talking about, getting started in comics, how to find a publisher, and all that. And it was some really nice, useful information, and they were super cool dudes. So I just want to give them a shout out.
Those were our favorite panels, and the ones the ones we think deserve some more attention. And then we spent a lot of time in the exhibition hall. So what was there, Sal, that really you fell in love with or caught your eye?
I'm always gonna go just with the Artist Alley because it is. How do I explain this? It's just a showcasing of people's livelihood, I guess, and what they're passionate about, and just them displaying their art and trying to sell it to you. And it's always it's fairly priced, and everything is always so spectacular, and I always just get lost in all the prints and pens and little tags and stickers, and people have body pillows, and it's so much, and I just always get lost and just marveling at all of it. And then after I'm done marveling, I end up spending all my money, but it's always worth it because if you look in my room, it looks fantastic.
I'm trying to also come up with words to explain the feeling, because this is kind of my first artist alley that I've really hung out in. I haven't really spent a lot of money on prints before.
Ah, I see.
But it's you love something, and I wish I had that. Words fail me constantly to describe how I feel about things, and I wish I could compose music or draw art, because I feel that could help express those feelings I have about certain things, right? But then when you go to the artist alley and you see the amazing art these artists have drawn about things they love and things you love, and it helps really adequately, at least for me, adequately describe how much I love something or the kind of happiness this property has given me.
Yeah, exactly. It's an expression of what made them an artist in the first place, right? Because a lot of this stuff is usually fan art, and so you have to love these kinds of things first before you want to start drawing. And so, they display all these wonderful influences that they've had on their art, and then a lot of times they have their own original art, which is also super cool. And you can tell, I especially love the people that will draw something in their style, because a lot of times when they put their own twist on it, it looks so cool. And I'm see, I could go and just buy a poster of this, but this one it has so much more character,
Words are failing me now. I wish I could draw you a picture to give you the... No, yeah.
Draw real quick.
Draw you what I want to say. Yeah, no, character. Maybe this is maybe a little too cynical, but art I get from something that is mass produced versus art that I know the person who drew it. The art that is drawn by the person holds a lot more sway over me than the corporate one. Which I guess isn't fair, because I'm sure that one's drawn by a lovely artist too. But what you say about character, right?
Yeah.
we were talking about art in the abstract. Let's give the listeners something a little more tangible. Let's go over our favorite artists that we got to buy stuff from so that they can check them out. But first and foremost, we got to shout out our lovely, lovely friends, because they are really amazing artists. Kazel was there, and she was one of the people that housed us. On Twitter, she's Kazeloo, Cazeloo. Her artist name is Kazel R, which is also her website. Last December when Into the Spider-Verse came out, and I just absolutely lost my mind over it. and we were yelling at her to go watch the movie, and then she did and started drawing stuff for it and then selling prints. And like I got there, I'm like, okay, give me this Spider-Gwen, please.
But yeah, so I went into Level Up Expo with money specifically to buy art from our friends, because I was like, they're gonna be having all their prints and I want to support them, but also I want these specific arts because they're really great.
And then our other friend there who housed us and is an amazing artist is Sir at SJ Miller Art. Prior to the convention, I had no idea she was the colorist on the Simon and Marcy comics until you guys educated me on that.
Yeah, small world.
Really small. And my social anxiety kicked in when I wanted her to sign my copy of Simon and Marcy.
Right. Which is so weird because you guys met before. And
yeah, I didn't know it was her when I met her the first time.
So I think that's funny because it's like, now that you have something that she has created, now it's like, oh, I'm not worthy.
I mean, Adventure Time is so important to me. I went over that. And the Simon and Marcy comics are a continuation off of what is now the end of the show. And like, she made something. She helped make this thing that is so important to my life. So like, I can't help but like kind of feel a little like that, you know?
Yeah, I feel it.
But I also bought a really amazing Tina print that she did that is so much different from what her actual art is, I found out.
Yes. She is very much known for like body horror and just horror in general. And then she'll go and create these like very cutesy drawings and you're just like, what? So, you know, she has a diverse palette.
Oh, something to entice future local artists. When I was going around, you know, interviewing exhibitors, I asked Sir about her experiences with conventions, and she really says that, like, compared to a lot of other conventions she's been to, Level Up Expo is like super chill on her as an exhibitor, and she like sells a lot during there. So, come to Vegas, artists. We want to see you.
Yeah. All right. So, so my first artist is Fabu Castle at Fabu Castle. Her handle is just Fabu Castle on everything, which is really nice. Good job taking up that real estate. But she was. I actually bought 4 of her prints, which is the most I bought from somebody. So, I mean, it helped that it was very nicely priced, but she just had so much beautiful art of a lot of waifus in particular. But she was super nice, and her art style went from these like very nice clean work to this more like watercolored, you know, very like fade in fade out kind of thing. And so it was really cool. And she was such a sweetheart because I asked her for a question and then I asked her for her art, and for some reason I've seen like all these animes that all these things that she's created. I've seen all of them, and I, for some reason, was stumbling over my words and couldn't remember the names of these characters. So I was like, can I get that one from Tales of Berseria and from Citrus and Lull in the Sea? And it was funny because I guess she didn't know A Lull in the Sea was called that because it's Nagi no Asukara usually in Japanese. So and I was pointing to it and I was like, I'm sorry, I forget her name. She was helping me out with the names of these characters. I was like, I promise I know. I promise. But she was super great and really nice. Her art is so good. She had an art piece of Raftelia, which is from Shield Hero, which came out last season, and she just pumped that out and put it at the expo so fast. So that was a really nice grab because I did not see any art of a lot of current animes that I would have liked to pick up. But yeah. And then my other shout out is for... So his is the Jetty Jet Show on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it's the same on Instagram. He submitted a question too. He had a lot of waifus as well, but not like this girl who would just draw these like nice cutesy. He had the more like risque kind of stuff, not safe for work. And all his art was so good, and he had Bowsette and Booette, which just commendable. I tip my hat off to you, sir, for having those. I actually looked on his Twitter, and he had a work in progress of him drawing Chompette. So
what?
This is a man of true culture right here. But he was super cool, super friendly, and we were talking about art and just the types of people that buy certain kinds of art, and it was he had a lot of good insight, and he was great. He was great. Everyone was great. Okay. Anyway,
we laugh out of nervousness because we're repeating the same thing, but like I don't know how to like articulate how amazing the energy was,
Yeah. So everyone was so friendly, and like when you bought someone's art, they were like, "Oh my god, thank you for supporting me." And it's like, what do you mean? You need to be supported. Like, I should be thanking you.
Yeah, you can do this thing that I wish if I had more patience. You have this skill that if I had more patience, I wish to draw the things that I love.
Yeah, you guys don't have to thank us. So, but they were just all so sweet. So we want to shout out our other friend. Her handle is @DrizzyDoodles, and she does a lot of My Hero Academia art. Mostly ships of Ochaku and Bakugo. And so if anyone ships that couple, she is definitely the girl to go to. Her art is so fantastic and so wholesome. It's super great. She had she had a zine, which is like a little booklet of all her art of that pairing. And she also had My Hero Academia characters as characters from Zelda and the Four Swords, so they were like 4 different colored links, and it was super cute, and I bought that. So she was super cool. I got to meet her for the first time in person there, and she was sharing a booth with some lovely people that let her share. I don't know if they were friends. If they weren't her friends, then even more shout out that you would let some, random artists share with you. So, back to everyone being so nice.
All right. So, one print that I'm immensely enjoying right now is from Jizu Artist _. I feel that Twitter name pain.
Ah, yes. Her.
But, was it... this was the cool thing. And because on the 3rd day, right, she was flying back to Ohio, and she was just doing this super sale.
Yeah.
So, so we went in and got her art, and the one I got was, the one with all the Smash characters on the beach, and she called it Smash and Splash.
Which is very aptly named.
Amazing name. But, that's just, my favorite art, I guess, change. The only League of Legends skins that I would even consider spending money on are the beach ones.
Right.
I don't know what it is about that aesthetic.
The beach aesthetic.
It's so fun. I saw this one with the Full Metal Alchemist characters. I'm just like, this looks so fun. And maybe it's like just it's so much different mood than what these things normally are.
Right.
Or maybe I just like seeing people in swimwear. I don't know. Uh, another artist that I didn't actually end up buying anything from her, but I thought was a really cool person. Her name is QQ, Rockman QQ, on social media. But I wore this apron that had a character from my favorite D&D podcast, The Adventure Zone, and only a few people noticed who I considered the cool people at the convention, and she was one of she was one of them, and she was actually selling a lot of merchandise from like fan art that she made of The Adventure Zone and their other kind of properties that they do.
I wanted so badly to buy something from her, but I talked myself out of it because I wouldn't know where to put it. And so that's
you
kind
showed
of a
me
regret.
Your shelf.
It's kind of a regret because I could be looking at it right now. But yeah, I have no room. I don't even know if I'm going to have room to put up all this art. I'll make room though. So fun story about Jisoo, which I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. I'm not 100%. So I knew about her for a while. She likes to play Super Smash Brothers, and she's always like talking to like professional Smash players on like Twitter and stuff. And so she's pretty big around the Smash scene. So I've been following her for a while, and I didn't know she would be at this expo in Las Vegas. And so I seen her, and I like double taked, and then I was like, oh my god, that's her. And I kind of got like super starstruck, and I didn't say anything, but I did end up saying hi and buying her art, so at least there's that. But
Oh, Sal, I saw that tweet you posted about getting nervous around her.
Yeah, I'm sure she's great.
I mean, if anything, her art is great.
Her art is definitely great. It's lovely.
All right, one last one that I really enjoyed, the buttons she made, is Mari Arakaki, or Kakimari, Kakimari. I bought... Okay. I'm garbage, and I love all the daddy memes. So I bought Overwatch buttons from her that one of them is Soldier 76 saying you're in daddy's sights. And then the Reaper one says just fucking murder me daddy. So I bought those from her, and I just love them. I mean, one of the cool things about the exhibition hall was that there was a lot of things. It wasn't just Artist Alley. One thing I want to highlight was that we got the chance to speak to some students from Southeast Korean Technical Academy. They were the game developers, or like training to be, right? In high school, I was a high school ambassador who went to middle school to try and recruit kids to my high school.
Oh, joy.
Yes, and that's where I learned about what the career and technical academies were here in Las Vegas. They're kind of like college light, where you go through very specialized programs and you end up picking a major basically in high school. And I was a little shit in high school, and my job was basically to, at those recruitment things, be like, my school is better than theirs. So I didn't really get to appreciate like what kind of, program they're in. And after getting to talk with Thiessen and Brennan, they were the people we talked to. I think it made me think about like careers in general for us growing up, right? I think even the thought about now, like careers in maybe art and video games, stuff like that, isn't really thought of as like the norm, I guess.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who are very passionate about these things. So then wanting to, transform your passions into a career is difficult. But it's nice to see that, at least here in Las Vegas, we have these programs that are giving at least these young people the necessary training, or at least the opportunity for this stuff. I want to shout them out just because, I can think back to my high school time, me and my friends, when it became time to think about, what we were going to do with our lives. And some of us wanted to get into, gaming as a career, but we didn't have anything there for us. So I want to shout them out. Like, these guys are going after what they love and chasing their dreams. And check them out, actually. They have their own gaming studio. It's called Galaxia Studio. And that was just nice to see them there.
Going back to careers, though, I was actually surprised from the Ruby panel and the comics panel how upfront they were about their careers, because they actually were like, yeah, so voice acting doesn't actually pay that well. which was very interesting to hear, but and they were talking about like how to get into it and stuff, but I found it refreshing that they would actually say that, because it's like not about going in it for the money, it's about the passion of doing it, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not going to talk about my future plans, but definitely.
Having that worry of like what you're gonna do for money sucks, but like even beside that, they were still like so encouraging, like do what you're passionate about and it will all work out.
Oh, nice.
Even saying it doesn't really pay that much, but definitely like go do it now is definitely still is the best chance to do it, because there's so much content, out there right now, and people looking for other people to get these kinds of jobs and stuff, and it's so fun to do this. And so even besides all that, like, follow your dreams, you'll make it. And so I thought that was really nice.
Oh, okay, I see. Sorry,
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mean for it to sound cynical, which I kind of made it sound.
Yeah, it started out like that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a very hopeful message. But yeah, no, Thiessen, Brennan, and all you other people at Secta, like, rock on.
Yeah, and there were so many other indie game devs that we didn't get a chance to check out, too.
Because we're terrible.
Because there was so much stuff. It was so overwhelming and great, but we couldn't get all of it,
No, definitely. Like, I remember during the first day, we went from panel to panel, and then I started freaking out at the end because, like, oh my god, I didn't get the chance to, like, interview attendees with how much they're enjoying the con. I'm like,
Yeah, there's just too much to do, too little time, and... they had the Smash tournament, which I only caught glimpses of. That was something I wanted to watch. I wanted to do that. They had this weird axe throwing thing, because why not?
Yeah, you could pay to throw axes.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but didn't have time. There was just so much cool stuff to do,
All right, we're definitely going again next year.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I wanted to end with 2 groups I got to meet that I really think deserve some attention. These are local charity groups here in Las Vegas. The first one is Critical Care Comics. What they do is they take donated comics and, make sure children hospitals get them. And the other one, which we got to meet, Josh, Kazel's friend, are Guardians of Las Vegas Cosplay. And, they do cosplay events to help raise money for charity.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like... I want to highlight them. These are local charity groups, nonprofit.
Oh, I was like, and definitely you might end up hearing about it again, because we might do something with them, because, charities.
All right, that is our podcast coverage of what we fucking loved about Lvl Up Expo. Sorry if, so much of the time was taken up by shouting out names, but these were just, like... people that we really want people to check out because we enjoyed so much of their stuff, Again, another thanks to Lvl Up Expo, to Suspiria, to Kazel, to Sir, just like for just like enabling us to do this, basically.
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity, and one we were not expecting to get. And now that we got it, we will definitely want to do more.
Even if it kills us.
Even if it kills us.
But thank you, listeners, for sitting here with us and enjoying Level Up Expo with us. We hope that, we've enticed you to come, because then next year we can meet you and then we get to talk to you. But if you have any recommendations for improvements, feel free to leave them in the comments of our SoundCloud page. If you want to help out the show, then ratings on our iTunes and Stitcher pages really help out a lot. If you want a place to hang out with us and just freak out about artists and whatnot, join our Discord server. We have dedicated channels for topic recommendations, show improvements, discussion, and nutjar offerings. Links to all of these pages can be found on our website, thosenerdscast.wixsite.com/home. That's WIXSITE. We wanted to remind you, and it's coming up soon, that on May 17th to the 19th, the hosts of the Epic Film Guys podcast are going to be hosting their 3rd annual charity stream, live stream for the cure. They've teamed up with the Cancer Research Institute to raise $7,500 for immunotherapy research. And in the previous years, the Cancer Research Institute, they matched the total donations that were raised during the event. And me and Sal, we're going to be making a guest appearance with Suspiria on May 17th at 2:30 p.m. PST. That's 5:30 p.m. EST, I believe. But we're going to be watching for the entirety of the event. And it would mean a lot to us, listener, if you help spread the word about the event. Getting more people to watch and donate is incredible, and it goes a long way toward a good cause. If you're interested in donating now, you can visit www.livestreamforthecure.com. You can find links to donate as well as merchandise for the event. They've got a really cool t-shirt that uses that Las Vegas diamond motif with the words inside that we're going to be wearing during the event, so you'll see us model. But again, that's going to be on May 17th to the 19th on twitch.tv/epicfilmguys. Sal, do you have anything to plug?
All right. So, more plugs. Yay.
This is Plugs the podcast.
Yes. You can find me on Twitter at Salzik, on Instagram at Mr. Salzik, on my blog, gotamoment.com. That's GOTTAMOMENT. You can find me on my Twitch stream, which is twitch.com, or twitch.tv/Salzik. Also on my friend's Twitch stream, which is Suspiria N Friends. That's in an uppercase N, not and. And I stream with him Thursday nights at 6 o'clock PST. And we finished Red Dead Redemption, so now we're moving on to another game.
You can find me on Twitter at ArielEyes_. I understand the playing Jizu. I don't post too much on Twitter, but it's a great way to get in contact with the show. Reminder, we now have an Instagram where you're going to see a bunch of cool cosplay that we got to see from conventions at Those Nerds Cast on Instagram. Thanks again, listener, for enjoying Level Up Expo with us. And we'll see you again next Wednesday.
Goodbye.